Hi, Peter here from Dream AV. We're coming to you today from the magnificent house in Cottlesloe called Fanu. This is a historically restored house that looks absolutely magnificent from the outside, even better from the inside. We're here today to talk to you and show you some of the magnificent technology that's been incorporated into Fanu. The issue that the installer had, or the integrator had, which is Kaiser AI, was to ensure that the technology that was installed in the house didn't take away from the appeal of the house. The client's brief was to have a very high-end premium solution which would suit this sort of style of house, but not to see everything, not to make it look like it's overwhelmed with technology. So we'll pop inside in a second. You can have a great look at some of the technology that exists within Fanu. So here we are in the basement, or the garage, of this fantastic house, and I'm standing in front of the brains of this system for running the house. Here we have a large double rack system. You need something of this sort of size to run the very many products that are in here. And this contains everything you need to run, including the automation system, the networking system, amplification for all the stereo and home theatre rooms. We have all the source devices, the video distribution system as well. So everything is contained down here. So there's nothing around the house at all apart from the end products like speakers and so forth, which will show you how they're put in so you can't see them. By having it down here in a garage or basement, it's a very cool environment, so it keeps it cool. As you can hear behind me, the rack makes a bit of noise as well. By having it down here as well, you're not interfering with the lifestyle of everyone, and having it centrally located means that it's very easy accessible for if you need to go in there and do anything with it or anything to be changed, and keeps away the clutter around the rest of the house. So the backbone system is really from here, and from here all the cables in structure through the house. You don't see the cables, but they all come back to this one location. It's the perfect design system. Before we head upstairs to show you some of the magnificent technology up there, I'd just like to show you something here. This is the entrance to the house from the garage. It's a sliding door. From this area, easy to get in and out. All I do is I just press this button, which is on the switch. The door will open, as we can see here. The motion sensor's detected that we're here, so it's turned the lights on. I'll then walk inside and we'll just wait for the door to close, which will take a few seconds. Now the door's closed and we're inside. If we were inside on this side and we wanted to get out, it's simple. We just press the door button again, the door opens and then we walk out. That's one of the cool features here. Just as a simple press of a button, you're activating that function and the lights come on as they sense your motion through there. If you're leaving the house right now and you wanted to completely lock everything up, make sure the blinds are closed, turn all the lights off, set the alarm and so forth like that, we can do a function here on the touch screen, which is a house off button. I'll just press it in a second, which will turn all the lights off and go dark, but that's basically set the house off to close. So I'll open the door again, so as if we've just walked through, and then when I press the house off button, it will close. And although it might be a little bit dark to see me, you can probably still hear me. From now here, we can just get into our car and leave, and the house is all secured and locked up. It's fantastic using an automation system such as this. Here we are in the main living, dining and kitchen area. It's all one big magnificent open room. What I'm showing you here is this was a magnificent bar that's been installed into the house here. But again, to keep the feature and to keep the fact that technology is not in your face, the product's been hidden. As you can see behind me is a Steinway Lindorf hidden subwoofer. It's a custom-made subwoofer behind the door here, and we can just shut that off. And then we've also got a speaker here, a Steinway Lindorf Model S speaker, and we have a speaker here, a speaker on the other side of the pillar, and also another subwoofer. So the panel then just pops back into here. As such. And now it looks seamless. You don't see anything at all, but you get magnificent sound when it's turned on. Steinway Lindorf being one of the premium audio brands around the world, but beautifully designed, hidden, enough to fill this massive room with fantastic sound. We're in a room here that was very, very awkward to deal with. Kaiser AI came to us and asked us what we can do in this room and what we could work out. The real problem being is that the historical architecture requirements meant that it was very difficult to place speakers in a room like this but still give great sound. We couldn't put them in the ceiling, we couldn't have floor standing speakers, and we couldn't put them in the wall because of what the walls are made of. So it restricted very much what we could do. So what we came up with, along with Kaiser AI, was to put the speakers in above my head, as you can see here. So it's not that visible to see. It's not in the main part of the structure. It's not interfering with the architecture of the room, but it's producing really good sound. The difficult part was, in a room like this, you normally want higher levels of coverage, you want more speakers, which we couldn't do. So we chose the KEF in-wall rectangular speakers, the Q series speakers, to give a much better coverage of the room and a much better performance from the confined area that we have. These sort of problems happen when you have architecture requirements, and it's important that you can get around with it with the right product. We're in the main theatre room of this house. Again, like every other aspect of the house, you have to keep this all within the original architecture and design of the house. So it's important to have as many things hidden and not seen. So I'm actually standing here in front of a 75-inch Samsung TV. We needed a TV in this room as we couldn't use a projector because of the requirements to hang a projector from the roof or in a bulkhead was not adequate. Normally in a theatre room we would use a screen and a projector to get a more enveloping and bigger image. However, in this case a TV was more required for this scenario. But all the speakers you see here at the front of the room are hidden, and we'll show you those in a second and how they're hidden. Again, it's another Steinway-Lindorf system. It's a magnificent sounding system, but we have basically above my head we have a centre channel and your left and your right, and to my left and your right you've got the two custom-made subwoofers designed specifically to fit into the cabinetry. The idea is you don't see it. So now you can see what it looks like when the cabinetry is actually taken apart a little bit, and it shows you where all the Steinway-Lindorf product has been put. Steinway-Lindorf is about matching the aesthetics of the room without compromising the actual sound. That's an important fact for a lot of rooms. So their objective is to provide a premium sound system, whether it be a stereo system or a home theatre system, but to not compromise in the way it looks. Their room perfect technology, which is their calibration technology, enables us to do things like put speakers above my head, which as they are, which isn't the suitable or the normal position you would put them in a theatre room. With the room perfect technology, they adjust for this, so you still get that fantastic sound that you would expect as if the speakers were at your normal height where they should be. You need to really get into a product like Steinway-Lindorf to achieve this. They custom make products as well, such as your subwoofers you can see here are custom made to suit the cabinetry perfectly. Also with the cabinetry, what we've done here is a cabinet maker has been very clever and they've locked a lot of the panels down so that when the actual product's on and it vibrates, as they all do with sound, you're not getting any vibration within the panels. And that's an important side of thing, or the cabinetry. That's important because you want the cabinetry to not add to the sound or take anything away from it. You want it to be very neutral, and that's an important thing to do. A room as complex like this with the architecture design requires thinking outside the square, and for a lot of people where they really want a nice cabinet like this but don't want to see big bulky speakers or necessarily have to put a acoustic transparent screen in here and then put the speakers behind, these are the kind of products that can actually achieve this for you. So here we are at the rear of the room. Being different to the front, we have to actually have the speakers on the wall here. There's no cabinetry. We can't put them in the ceiling again because of the beautiful designs in the ceiling. So we have had to put these on the wall, but to overcome that impact in the room, what we've done is we've actually colour matched the paint to the speakers. And Steinway-Lindorf can do this for you within their colour range, which is generally any automotive vehicle finish that you can use. They can match most paint colours on the wall. This way the speakers more disappear into the wall and they don't catch your eye, but they are there and they do give fantastic performance. We've now moved upstairs up into the second family room. This is an entertainment area as well as a family room on the upper deck with fantastic views out to the ocean, which I can see off to my left, but you can't. Not yet anyway. Behind me is yet another Steinway-Lindorf system. In a house of this sort of calibre and quality, you want to have the very, very best in audio systems throughout the house, and that's why Steinway-Lindorf is the primary system that's been used here. Again, the requirement here was to make the system disappear into the actual furniture and design of the house, which is an important factor. Here we have again two subwoofers, my left and right, custom made to fit the size, and the Steinway Model S left-right speakers here as well. And it's been properly decoupled and housed so that there's no actual vibration that comes from the cabinet, and it's just the pure sound that comes out. The kind of sound that you get from here can envelop this entire room and out even onto the decking. Remembering that all of this is controlled from downstairs in the rack that we originally showed you. So the function of that means that you don't have anything out here such as amplifiers or anything else that produces heat and noise that can interfere A with the sound and B with the room ambience as well, which makes it a fantastic solution. To simply cover everything up, we just close these, which are acoustic transparent material. It's magnetically put into place so it doesn't slip around. The beauty about it now is as we step back, is it looks just fantastic and simple and doesn't interfere with the room. Here we have an 85-inch TV. So if you're up here with all your friends, looking out at the ocean, watching some football, it's a fantastic room to be in. Some of the fantastic integration that Kaiser AI has included in this house come from things that you don't always deal with every day, and that's the brilliance of real automation. In real automation, you don't have to think about things happening, and they just happen by the basis of the system determining the best factor. So the air conditioning system here actually looks at the temperature for the day and looks at the conditions for the day and determines what rooms should be on and off based on their position in the house and based on the temperature outside before it even detects what the temperature is. You can also have things like sensors and so forth on windows and doors, which will actually detect the temperatures coming in from outside, the amount of sunlight, and from that the air conditioning can adjust the system accordingly, but it can also do things like raise and lower blinds to give the best environmental or the least environmental impact in energy consumption in your household. Just pressing a button back here as well, if I want to walk into the room, I now open up all the blinds with one hit. So not having to go around individually and open up each individual blind, I just press at the touch of the button. Again, you can have this automated. So basically it senses the amount of sunlight coming through, integrated with the aircon system, which then determines the best way to manage your climate control with the least use and consumption of electricity. Looking out here, magnificent Cottlesloe beach across there from us and out there the Indian Ocean. Why we're out here is really just to show you some outdoor products. Right above me we've got some KEF in-ceiling Q series speakers, and these are actually marine grade speakers. The problem with being so close to the ocean is you get a lot of wind, you get a lot of salt spray, you get a lot of water coming in, and salt is very, very corrosive. It's one of the most corrosive materials when it starts to hit metal. So it was important for this outside decking area that again we have speakers that aren't seen everywhere, that aren't visible by being around or on the ground, that are in ceiling in this alfresco area, but also can live within the environments. The beauty thing about KEF and using their product is that all their custom integration in ceiling and outdoor speakers are marine grade, so you don't have to actually go and buy a special model to make it marine grade. They all are marine grade, and of course with this sort of view behind you, you'd be spending a lot of time out here watching the world go by, watching the ocean and listening to some fantastic sounds while you sit back. So here we're in the main kitchen area, and we've got a fantastic product which is a mirrored glass with a TV screen behind it. It's not a complicated thing necessarily, but it is one of those things that is fantastic to have in your house. Better for nighttime viewing because you don't get so much reflectivity from the sun, and it comes out crystal clear at night, which is the way it's been designed, because a lot of living in here is for nighttime, or being able to close the curtains to stop the light reflecting off the mirror. But apart from that, it is a full functioning TV that sits behind there. And then of course when you turn the TV off, it just becomes a beautiful mirror here. It's just a nice little thing to have and a nice touch in an area again where you don't want the technology to be seen as much.